Coming up, Chad Caton is going to join us. We're going to talk about the real dangers of the unchecked immigration border issue. News Talk 1110, 99.3 WBT. It is the Brett Winterble Show. I want to welcome to the program Chad Caton, talking about the crisis at the border and unveiling the true scale of unchecked immigration. This is an issue that is absolutely front of mind with so many people, especially given the back and forth that's been going on today with this plan coming out of the Senate. It's been declared dead on arrival by Mike Johnson and the rest of the House of Representatives on the Republican side. But we are in a crisis situation. I want to welcome Chad to the program and to talk a little bit about this. Chad, thanks so much for making time for us here.
No problem, Brett. Thank you.
So let's talk about the fact that there are 670,000 gotaways that entered the U.S. without apprehension and nearly 5,000 give-ups. That's part of the piece that you have penned today. Talk about the risks here. You're somebody who understands the security picture. What are we looking at?
Well, that's per day. So the big thing here is that we are being invaded. I don't care what anybody says, and ultimately, it's mostly fighting age men. You know, the days of seeing females and children come across seem to have gone by the wayside. All to the point where we've seen the viral video where there was a man saying, "You will know who we are here soon," to a veteran. Yep. And then on top of it all, right there in Manhattan, you saw cops getting kicked in the face by illegals that we are currently paying for to feed and house. And as that's happened, this regime, the Biden regime has shown where they put veterans, to the point where they've put them out on the street and they're taking care of each other in small tent cities to give that warm bed to an illegal. It's absolutely disgusting of what's going on in our country right now. And let's face it, the left, they're not even paying attention anymore because they don't care what we think, because we can't do anything about it until we take back control.
Chad Caton is joining us here, National Director of Operations, VFAF, and Veterans for Trump. So when you look at this and you hear the clear deceit coming out of this White House, where the president today says that the border was, the border was not broken. He needs more power. He needs authorizations. He needs all that stuff. And then he blames Donald Trump for being the culprit here. He is the guy who broke the border. The border was secure under Trump, and it was secure for a number of years. We all remember what it looked like.
You're absolutely right. And here's Joe Biden once again going to speak to the lowest common denominator. Unfortunately, it's like 48% of our country, because they're actually believing this, or they're so ideologically triggered that orange man bad that we're willing to throw away our country under the guise of somebody who doesn't know where he's at half the time. I mean, it's really to critical fail at this point. And what it is that we need to engage with one another, and we need to show the strength of this country. A buddy of mine, he always says the best time this country was together was 9/12, the day after 9/11. And here's what crisis do we have to get to for the liberal left to actually get past their ideology and understand what's really in front of them? Maybe it's going to happen when it hits their front door, like you're seeing in New York and Chicago, where their governments are actually losing their mind because they're trying to be sanctuary cities under the stupid concept of being a sanctuary city, and their citizenry is paying for it. We saw it with the police being attacked. We're seeing the defecation on the streets. We're seeing people getting robbed. It's out of control right now, and law and order has gone to the wayside under the regime of Joe Biden.
So let's do an either-or comparison here, okay? We understand that we've got probably 10 million that have come in, maybe plus or minus that number, but over the course of the last 3 years, it's been about 10 million people coming into the country, on top of the 12 million or 20 million, whatever the number was in the pre-existing world. Talk about the veterans who are homeless in this country, who are being denied opportunity, who may be falling by the wayside as this administration decides to prioritize not those veterans, but to prioritize people who have come in, who have not passed background checks, who have not served this country. What about that comparison that we've got happening here in this country?
It's phenomenal, and it's unbelievable to the point where it's just not taking veterans out of homes that were built for them to readjust, or even halfway houses after they came back from war, dealing with PTSD and substance abuse that they are dealing with. They're getting kicked out, and they're putting these illegals in those beds. On top of that, being a disabled veteran myself,
yes, sir,
and taking 19 months since Biden took over for me to get an eye exam because Donald Trump put in the choice program for us to go out into our communities, and they can charge the VA. That program's still in place because they could never get rid of it. We would completely lose our mind. But they make it almost impossible. 19 months. I have to get a prescription every year for my eyes. But it took 19 months for me to get to be able to go see a doctor to get that prescription under the VA. Now they're pushing veterans out and actually giving VA services to the illegals that are coming across our border. So now we are already being put on the back burner just because we are the VA. But now it's even worse because they're using the VAs as hospitals and doctors, places for them to go to doctors. Because you know why? It's easier to hide at the VA than it is a regular hospital. It's easier when the hospitals that are for profit are sitting there saying, whoa, stop bringing all these people in here because it's costing us a fortune to treat them. They do it at the VA so that they can hide it.
Wait. Hold on. Are you saying the migrants are going into the VA?
Absolutely they are.
Whoa!
Google it. It was brought out I think 3 or 4 days ago, and there's video. There's actual VA whistleblowers. They are now utilizing VAs across the country to actually send these illegals to have medical services because they can't take them to hospitals. If they did that, hospitals would lose their mind.
This is this is a defining moment for this country. When I see Chuck Schumer show up on TV as he did today or yesterday, and basically says, if we don't pass this immigration bill, well, we're going to have to send your sons and daughters to go fight Putin over in the NATO countries and in Europe. And he uses that like a dog whistle, not respecting the sacrifice that many of these veterans have already put in. By the way, we remember Abbey Gate and the 13 that were murdered, despite the fact that the intelligence was readily available that there was going to be an attack at that surrender site. This is disgusting, Chad. This is absolutely disgusting to try to use that sort of appeal to the American people to kick in another $160 billion to Zelensky. My God, I've
got a message for Schumer.
Yep.
Why don't you kid up and you lead us in? I dare you. Take our sons and daughters over there to the uglies of war. You do it. Why don't you grab a chest plate and a M4 and you go over there and you can lead the way. You know he won't do it. He can't look over his glasses. Yeah. And for him to put that kind of dog whistle out into our political lexicon that is already as rift as can be is disgusting. Yeah. That's why what I pinned today in my op-ed, it says basically under the guise of you are immoral people on the left. You are immoral. You are not paying attention, and you are doing it under the one reason, either to save your own behind because of what you've accomplished, and Donald Trump's going to expose all of you, and the America First movement, or you just don't like Donald Trump. And if it's that petty, I actually hope it is that they're trying to save their own neck, because if it's that petty that they just don't like Donald Trump, we are a way bigger problem than we ever thought we were.
Chad Caton, where do people go to find more information about you and your Twitter handles?
My Twitter handle is I'm fired up too, as you all can see. I stay pretty fired up all the time.
Yes.
And also you can go to veteransfortrump.us. Go there, sign up, be a part of the largest growing coalition in the country to stand next to Donald J. Trump and get him put back in that White House. Please go to veteransfortrump.us, and my Twitter handle is I'm fired up and number 2.
All right. Appreciate you being out there. Thank you for your service, and we'll certainly stay on this with these VA hospitals taking in migrants. We had not known about that. Thank you very much for your service to the country, and look forward to catching up with you again.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You got